of the EGC 1K Tabletopper Show Match series. In this series, we've got SamWise spawning in on the north of the map with the Dutch. His opponent spawning in on the south of the map, Haitch, with the British. Let's take a look at their openings. We see that both players are orientating towards the middle of the map, but Haitch having to take a trading post first means that he's going to be a little bit more delayed in reaching the middle. He has sent his Freitag towards the middle of the map, but he hasn't really been successful in picking up that many goats. Let's have a look and see. Did he manage to pick up anything? He's got 2 goats. Okay, pretty good effort from Haitch. Meanwhile, Sam, playing the Dutch, has had two goats that he's picked up, and he's also managed to find an 80 wood treasure on the south side. He's picked up another goat down here, and he's just got that extra exploring going on because of the envoy. So man, I tell you what, I'm so scared that the stream's going to go down, so apologies. I'm kind of checking chat just to make sure there's no F's in it. I've got a little bit of stream going down PTSD. We're going to get that fixed up. That's never going to happen again. Never again. I'm going to flash my computer immediately after this stream, and we're going to start from square one. Now, speaking of square one, we've got a Haitch at square one, picking 3 villagers as his first card. Got Virginia Company in the deck. He has opted to go with the trading post, so I would assume that this is definitely going to be a Virginia Company build that we do see coming out of him. It'd be very strange for Haitch to pick up a trading post and then not go Virginia Company in the first age. It's one of the most common builds that we do see with the Brits, popularized by Daruga, and being being undertook, being demonstrated here by Haitch. His opponent, SamWise, let's take a look and see what he's up to. He is over a gathering here, so normally we wouldn't see a Dutch player gathering this much coin. Okay, he's actually realized he's moved his villagers over onto food. Let's have a look at his deck, see what we've got. We've got the bank card, so we don't actually have colonial militia or town militia in the first age. We've got the bank card, which I do like, and he's completely maxed out. A lot of resource crates in here, 700 food, 700 and 600 wood. We've got the bank wagon, as we would expect, and we don't have 7 Reuters, which is to be expected. We do have the 5 Hussars. We've got a bit of a battle going on right now. Freitag taking out his 2 little buddies. Unfortunately, Freitag is a lot stronger than his little buddies that spawn in. And now we've got an age up in queue. The quartermaster, undoubtedly it is. And if we check a little bit of the score right now, we do see that Sam has managed to gather 5 goats up. Also got this 6th goat that he's about to pick up, and a 7th goat that's spawning to the north of the map. And Haitch, on the other hand, has got, well, it looked like 1 goat. He obviously had the 2nd goat, but he's eaten both of them. So no real longevity, and we do indeed see the Virginia Company coming out from him. A little bit of a late age up here coming out from Haitch. Going with the Philosopher Prince. Interesting. Normally we do see the Governor come out from the British, but I just realized I do have this on. I should probably be using this a lot more. It's a lot more smooth, isn't it, guys? I know you guys like this. Kind of reminds me of Harrison when I watch this. So what's going on? What's going on over here? Let's head down this way. So we can see that Haitch is building up that wood bank. He's going to be... So let's have a look and see exactly how much Virginia Company reduces the cost of houses down. 135 wood currently. It's going to take it down to 88. So reducing it there by an absolutely huge amount. We see Haitch just immediately dropping down the manor houses. He's put down 2, 3. There's the 3rd one. Do we see any other manor houses being dropped down? Not really, just the 3 manor houses for now. And let's go check out and see what SamWise is up to. Bit of a treasure. Oh my god, Sam Green from the British Empire, Haitch's British Explorer, is down at 10 HP. Talk about a close call, Haitch. Jeez Louise, mate. So anyway, on the north side of the map, we've got Sam, who's put down his bank well and truly before he ages up, and he's got a villager in queue as well. He's macroing very well. He's still got 6 goats, so he must have eaten that 7th goat, unless that 7th goat is still coming in. I think he's eaten a couple goats. And now the 400 wood gets dropped down, aging up at 4 minutes and 8 seconds. 700 wood is the first card he sends from the home city, as we would expect. I suspect with this we are going to see him dropping down. Oh, is Haitch going to lose his explorer right here? Oh, Sam cancelling the attack. Is he going to be able to get off that one more attack? Oh, and Haitch ages up right on time. That 45 experience not going over to Sam. Oh my god, I can't believe the timing from that. Literally half a second later, and he lost that explorer. He would have lost that explorer. Oh my gosh. It was like, I'm not trying to overplay that. That is like genuinely what would have happened. Also shipping the 700 wood from the home city. That 2nd bank from SamWise is now going up. We're turning off the Fog of War. You know what? I might actually keep Fog of War on just because I find it so much easier to determine viewpoints based on Fog of War. If I can see line of sight, then that indicates to me it's much easier to know who I'm casting. It sort of keeps it a bit more active. We see the second shipment coming in now in the second age, the bank wagon, as we would expect. With this, I'm expecting that we're probably going to see a stable getting dropped down. It is quite common in this matchup where both players will opt to go for a stable. If you open with skirmishers as the Dutch player, then what's going to happen? So we're seeing a third bank going down now. So with this matchup, if you open with skirmishers, then you're just going to be losing those skirmishers to the Hussar. So you can open with, so now we see there's a stable. So you can open with a barracks, but the problem with is if you do open with a barracks, then you probably need to start pike, and pike are very wood intensive. So as Dutch, you want to be avoiding mining or chopping as much wood as possible, and really be using your shipments and buying it through the market. At a later point in the game, it definitely does. Sorry, let me just hit that start recording over on the left hand side, just in case we do go down again. But yes, so it's something that you want to just avoid, and Haitch actually getting caught with his explorer right here. Gonna be heading back to the town center. Curious to see whether we see villagers garrison. Doesn't look like we will see it. I think that the explorer is just gonna go down, and Haitch accepting his fate with his explorer. But we do see this stable coming out, and SamWise is actually scouting the stable. How far ahead is he on his batch? Pretty close, actually. They're both starting at about the same time. The explorer from Haitch going down, but it looks like, oh my god, 6 HP. He's gonna catch him. He killed him. He actually killed him. Freitag, you've murdered the opponent explorer. Well done, boy. You did good. Much stronger than that Randy the pet rhino from last game. I say that much. Now we've got 5 villagers coming in behind it. The envoy running through, scouting the stable, and then just getting on with things, because he knows that those cav are going to be coming out very quickly. And so the reason why you don't want to be starting muskets in this matchup, and take a look at Haitch's economy. He's at 20 mana houses at 6 minutes 30. The last mana house going up right now. Incredibly impressive. This build order is absolutely on point. And now going for the 700 coins. So curious whether we're going to see some sort of semi-FF out here. Probably the most common build order that we do see. And we've got the Huss coming in. The Huss looking like they're going to be able to pick up a couple of villages. Haitch managing to get them through before they get snared. The back village is definitely going down with definitely down. But Haitch gets off an early hit onto the Hussars from SamWise. So while he loses that villager, he does somewhat gain an advantage in the Hussar battle. Now I just remembered, we can turn off the line of sight and we can do a little bit of a scroll as we follow the Hussars back. We can zoom in at the same time. Very cinematic. I'm sure Harrison would be proud. And now the Hussars retreat because they know that there is potential that there could be more Hussars on the way. And look at that. Without missing a beat, Haitch knows that SamWise may be training more Hussars, and he's 100% on the money. These aren't the ones shipped from the home city. These have been made from the stable. He knows exactly what's up. But he got out a huge amount of damage onto these. Let's take a look and see what their health bars look like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 of them at half HP. 1 of them almost dead. So really putting in a lot of work. Is it worth the trade for a villager? Look, to be honest, I'd probably say so. Obviously, a villager is going to contribute to your economy continuously throughout the game, but at the same time, you're going to buy yourself a lot of potential with this. So really good to see. We've also got the 8 pikes coming out from SamWise here, and putting a skirmisher in queue, not opting to go up to the 3rd age. Curious to see whether we're going to see him cancel. One of the common things that we do see Dutch players do when they're going up like this, playing a bit more aggressive, they're not quite sure whether their opponent is going to be making more cav, whether they're going to be doing it or not, but we do actually see Haitch is going up to the 3rd age, and I'm sure once SamWise realizes that Haitch isn't going to be going more aggressive in the 2nd age, and he's just going to be going up to the 3rd age, he'll probably cancel those 8 pike. Let's go, actually. Yep, there you go. So this is quite a common tactic that happens. And he's also got that skirmisher in queue. I suspect we're probably going to see the skirmisher cancelled. Yep, there it goes. There goes that skirmisher. So on not missing a beat, really. So I would say that they're both players are very on point here. And Haitch losing a house now in the middle, a manor house. Now, keep in mind, this is a manor house that's got Virginia Company, so this is just really going to reimburse Haitch that extra villager. I wouldn't be surprised to see Haitch just drop down a house immediately after that and just get that extra villager back. So curious to see. There it is. There's the manor house going down straight away, gets that villager back. So the net gain from this is and we've actually, he's made a bit of a mistake here, this hunt being pushed out by the villagers, not having enough room to gather on this herd, and they've gone and walked out and shot this away, put it in a very awkward spot. Haitch is left with not many hunts left. If we go and have a look in Haitch's or in SamWise's base right now. He's got a couple of hussars running in. How many villagers do we have in this town center? We've got 13 villagers bundled up in this town center being idled, and at the same time we've got hussars heading back home to try and deal with it. We've got more hussars out over here, but Haitch just doing a great job, just running through, just saying g'day. So this is an interesting game so far. It's really sort of gone the way that I would expect so far, with both opening huss, both like being going up to the third age very quickly. But we see a pretty good catch coming out here from Haitch. Oh my god, Haitch just getting an amazing catch at top levels like this. This kind of catch is almost like game losing, man. Like, this is a huge potential catch that that Haitch has got. You see microing, bringing the hussar forward around the hussar of Sam, and it looks like they're going to get trapped underneath the mangroves right here, and unfortunately all of them go down. So a really big pickup right there. And at the same time, we've got a raid going down. Does he get that? He managed to get the vill? He doesn't manage. The villager with 6 HP just gives him a little bit of blunderbuss and says, hey, mate, take this one. And gives it to him. So we've got the 9 Reuters now coming in. At the same time, training Reuters from the stable. Exactly what you want to see. We don't have any skirmishes out on the field at the moment, except for the 5 that Sam has been able to make. And back at home, Haitch is really going heavy on cavalry. He's got 14 cav. Did he ship 5 cav from the home city? No, he's just gone straight for the 10 longbows. So not opting for a real mass of overwhelming cavalry, but I think he's made the right decision. The primary issue that he's going to have are the Reuters. Reuters are just incredibly efficient, trade very effectively, and incredibly strong the way they stack up, just make them a very great fighter in situations like these. And so now we've got more units queued up. He's got 2 military production buildings down at the moment, SamWise does. He's got the stable down as well as the racks. I expect that with 1,000 wood, he's going to be dropping down that 3rd military production building. Maybe even look to drop down an artillery foundry potentially. Especially in this position, there's not a lot you can do with 1,000 wood. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you've got 1,000 wood, like, there's always things that you can do with it. But other than like building a couple of houses and dropping down that 3rd military production building, it looks like, oh my god, Sam, wake up! Sam, wake up! No, Sam! Sam, not like this! Not like this! And it looks like they're going to be getting caught. They're out of position incredibly. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Probably attack moved them down there, unfortunately, but they've just walked straight in. If we had an attack move that worked, this wouldn't be an issue, but unfortunately, it is an issue and something that Sam's going to have to deal with as he walks away from this fight. His explorer's being snared, taken out by the cavalry, but it's not like it's all for nothing. We do see a pretty good trade coming out. Sam making sure he takes out a few of the Reuters, a few of the hussars, apologies. But another reinforcing batch of hussars coming in from the right, as well as Reuters in from the north. Now we've got 5 hussars coming in from the home city. No cav combat yet, but we'd expect that to be coming in relatively soon. This matchup typically is pretty heavy on the cavalry side of things. We've got the Dragoon Huss versus the Huss and the Dragoon, or the Reuter. And so now switching back over to Haitch's side. He's got 51 villagers at the moment. That 1,000 wood has come down. We see the 2nd stable being dropped, so definitely opting for a more cavalry-orientated build order. I can see that a couple of people are saying the playback does seem a little bit slow at the moment. I can try and speed that up a little bit, but I am a little bit fearful of just missing things if we do that. I'll have a look into it. I've got my settings set, so it should be perfect, but we will see. Perhaps it could be dependent on the individual that recorded the game. We'll have to investigate that a little bit further. But a bit of a forward villager coming out here from Haitch. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but almost getting away. 9 HP. I don't think she's going to last, though. Unfortunately, falling down in the river. Looks like her body is going to be washed away with the bodies of the hussars that died earlier underneath the mangroves. The Haitch in a pretty good position, I'd say, at this point. He's up on score. Now, keep in mind, the Brits typically are a civilization that has a higher score than other civilizations, and this all comes down to the manor house. The way that the manor house works, it provides you free resources. How does it do that? Through a villager. You build your house for 135 wood, and all of a sudden, you get a villager. So you're essentially just creating resources out of thin air instantly. It's an instantaneous bonus. And that's why the score inflates. So now we've got the longbows pushing in. This is not typically something I expect to see a lot of. There's a lot of longbows. The cav combat has already been sent in for Haitch. He's also going for 8 villagers, so really quite greedy. I wouldn't expect him to be posturing like this with the 8 villagers behind this. He's also got, so we've got the 1 stable, the 2nd barracks. Does he have a 3rd military production building down yet? I don't think we do we? I think it's just the 1, or the 2. It definitely seems that way. So, the 8 villagers now coming in at the home city, taking Haitch up to 62 villagers. Meanwhile, over on the north-hand side of the map, we've got 30 villages for SamWise. SamWise looking in a relatively good position. Honestly, keep in mind that I guess Dutch does kind of overscore a little bit as well, just because of banks and the way that banks work. But a really big mass coming out for the Dutch player. SamWise just doing huge work. Has he got his cavalry combat shipped in yet? Not yet. I suspect we're going to see cav combat come in right now. I'd be really surprised if it's not cav combat. Yeah, okay, and there it is, coming in, cav combat. Take a look at the resource distribution. Oh, no, he's switched it out from cav combat to skirmishes. I wonder what it is that he saw. Well, he does have a very small mass of skirmishes. Look at this. But at the same time, sure, you're going to be supplementing your mass. He's going to get the double shot off here, taking out both of the settlers? No, it looks like he only gets the one. He could have very easily taken out the second settler that was there as well. I am cognizant of the slow playback, guys, so apologies. We can see that more units are coming in. I really would have preferred cav combat. Just look how big this mass is, man. This needs cav combat. 31 Reuters and 14 veteran hussars. Give them cav combat or give them death. That's what I say. Meanwhile, on the south side of the map, it looks like we've got a bit of a raid going on the north end side. Haitch catching a couple of villages from SamWise. It looks like we're going to drop him down. Let's watch those villager numbers drop down. We're at 31 at the moment. Probably lost a couple already. Going down to 30 as well. And meanwhile, on the south side, we've also got a raid coming in from Sam on Haitch. So let's switch back to Haitch, see if we can watch the villager count drop down there. It doesn't look like we're going to. That last hit's going to come off, but is it too late? Zero! The zero. This villager has a fucking dream, my friend. It's got 0 HP and a fucking dream. How is that even legal? How is that even legal? And the fact that you get to just sit there and carry on your day. Oh my god. So, moving forward, we've got cavalry HP coming in from Haitch as well. Now keep in mind this is Dragoon and Hussar hit points. That's a lot, baby. That is a lot. That's 2 units in this composition. That's not 1, that's 2. So we've got the 6 Hussars as well as the 23 Dragoons. Interestingly, not a lot of Hussars really coming out from Haitch at this point. Really just focusing on Dragoons. 5 more Dragoons in queue. Haitch is going to be very careful. He's separating his units up here. Okay, he's realized he's brought his Dragoons back. And he's definitely in position. This is a pretty good spot for Haitch. Being right behind these trees, it's a very natural choke point. And it's kind of like almost challenging Sam to say, come and fight me behind these. I dare you. He's got the range on the longbow. But it looks like he's going to be forcing Sam to come and fight him. Picking off 2 villagers there with range. And having a much larger mass. We've got the 40 longbows from Haitch up against the 26 veteran skirms, and the battle begins. Here we go. The Hussars running in. It's a terrible position. What do we got here? Look at them crossing over into each other's paths, but it looks like they're able to get on top of the longbows. But we've got Dragoons here. Dragoons are at the back. We see the score really starting to get ahead for Haitch at this point. He's been taking out a lot of units. We've got a big skirmisher mass at the back, but we've got the Dragoons, 26 Dragoons. Now keep in mind, even though we've got 26 Dragoons, the Reuter, look at the Reuter count, it's dwindling. It should be triple this right now. The Reuter count is really tripling, and this is just an overwhelming victory. Yeah, okay. I'm really not surprised that Sam called GG there. Of the preliminary matches for the $1,000 tabletopper show match. Spawning in the south of the map is Haitch on the Japanese. A civilization that he's been quite familiar with recently. Playing in his series up against Nushuba. I think he pulled this one out once. So very familiar with this civilization. Also spotting an 80 wood treasure here. Heading over immediately. Both explorers out here. We also see the native scout. Is he going to take shots at the native scout? Not too sure, but that to me indicates immediately that his opponent spawning in on the north of the map is SamWise playing the French. You guessed it. So for anybody who's unfamiliar with the rules of this tournament, the way that it works is when you lose your game. Okay, so let's say the first match. So the first match is always played on Kamchatka. That was the agreed rules. It said if you want to start, you got to play on Kamchatka. And we see the pull coming in here from SamWise. Look at the SamWise managing to get the pull off. Get his explorer down into position already. Spotting the lion. Does he have the crack shot? He doesn't even... I don't even know if he's got the crack shot. He's just standing here attacking. I think he might let it reset. I think H is going to let this reset. Let's take off the fog of war. H is just meleeing him. Just letting it go. Keeping it down here. I think H knows that he can just sort of let it happen. But the problem is... Oh, he got the Divine Strike. H got the Divine Strike. Oh my god. And H gets the 80 wood. He's going to just poof right on out. See you, mate. So, what was I saying? I was saying, so, for anybody who's unfamiliar with the rules of the tournaments and the way that it's going to work, so the first match is always going to be on Kamchatka. And then the winner of that doesn't get to do anything except for wait for their opponent. So the loser of that first match is going to then get to choose the map that they play on. So that's SamWise. He lost the game and he said, you know what? I want to play on this map right here, which is, it's gold. What's this map, guys? It's Central Plains. And so with Central Plains, obviously there's a lot of trade posts. So Sam has said, I am going to be, probably focusing on that. That's why he's going to do that. But that's not the only advantage that he gets by having lost the first game. Because he's lost the first game, Haitch also has to pick his civilization first. And so Haitch obviously went a very safe civilization. A civilization with not a lot of bad matchups. Japan. And so Sam has said, all right, you want to play Japan? That's fine. I'll play my boys French. And they agreed to this matchup. This is a bit of a classic matchup. Definitely more of a skill matchup, I would say. Is the Native Scout going to go down? Does the Divine Strike get off? We see... Oh, it looked like he wanted to take a shot, but I think he ran out of line of sight. Sam looking to age up. I don't think he's going to be able to get the 13th Vil age up. Probably going to have to put that 14th Villager in queue. Maybe even the Idols a little bit with the 14th Villager. He's going to be down at... Yeah, he puts the 14th Villager in queue. But we've got him looking like he wants to go and tackle Kermond. He's already got Kermond. He's going for Kermond's brother. This is Kermond's other brother, Kermond. So for anybody out in the chat who doesn't know, Kermond has a brother on this map. So 2 treasures spawn in. So we've got Kermond the Pet Lizard or Pet Monitor. And now there's Kermond the Pet Monitor the second. So just like we have SamWise 12, so he's the 12th SamWise, we've got Kermond and Kermond 2. It's hard to differentiate these two because they do have the same colored collar. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to seeing what antics they bring to the battle. And we do indeed see some idle time coming out from Sam. Haitch is already aging up with the Toshogu Shrine in queue, and we can just we just see the hunt that he obviously would have placed this shrine like directly on top of, just like fucking out of there. He's like, no, I'm not interested. I wonder if you could like, I'm of the mindset that you should probably be walling in your hunts as Japan, just so that they don't run away from your shrine. Probably a little bit crazy. I don't think that's going to work. But let's take a look at the decks. We've got Haitch spawning in, obviously got Heavenly Kami, as well as 2 villages, so could potentially feign that potential Tori Shrine, Toshogu Shrine, and Tori Gates, sorry. Also got the 300 export in deck, so I'm curious to see whether Sam is going to go in and scout the Japanese base. I'm assuming that by the map, okay, so with this map, it's a very high hunt map. Really good for the Brits, and really good for the Japanese because they've got so many places they can be putting down their shrines. And because there's so many good places to put down your shrines, I would suspect that SamWise has just said, you know what, he's probably going to just Toshogu Shrine. Probably. Because you'd be a fool not to when you got this many shrines. Look at the way that they're like, they just kind of move to the edge of the map and they just sit there. They want to come in and then they just go back. I think it's because the building has been put down. And see, they just walk back. It's like there's a ring around this building where they can't enter it. I feel like that's it. Oh, actually, maybe he comes in. Anyway, we see... Now, SamWise going for the classic forward market. I love this play from Sam. This is an incredibly advanced strategy, something that you don't see a lot. But very curious. I'm really curious why he actually put this here. Markets are notoriously big. Great to use as walls, but we see Haitch coming in for the treasure contention. No, Haitch, poof, quickly, Haitch, quick, before Kermond gets it. Kermond and his brother Kermond managed to take out Haitch's Explorer. Oh my gosh. If there was just one Kermond there, Haitch would have been fine. And the fact that Haitch literally just aged up right then as well, getting 135 XP. And Sam putting down the 3rd trading post now. So we're at 4 minutes 44, Sam putting down that 3rd trading post. Meanwhile, on the other side, and shipping 700 wood, 600 wood. Where's the forward base, Sam? That tells me, is he doing bow pike? He has to be doing bow pike, right? 700 wood, 600 wood. He's not going for 4 coureur de bois first. I feel like I watch French players play. They're going for 4 coureur de bois first in 89% of games. There we see the racks coming down. There we see the forward racks coming down. And on the other side we do see Haitch shipping in the 600 wood. So that's going to be his first card in the 2nd age. And his Explorers are really in prime position. But the main issue is that there's some bodyguards on top of the 2nd Japanese Explorer. And when you go to Toshogu Shrine, you really don't want your 2nd Explorer to be dead. You want him to be alive, and we actually spot Haitch being a little bit of a cheeky guy and saying, you know what, Sam, I realize, I see what you're doing, buddy, and I ain't gonna let that happen. And so Haitch puts down a trading post of himself, steals it away. We actually see, who's put that down? I think both players have put this down. I saw a red flash, and now I see a blue flash as well that's gone. Yeah, look, Haitch, Japanese trading post, 0 out of 25. Haitch has gone in for the steal, but SamWise gets it down before and says, sorry, mate, I know you wanted this trade post a lot, but just not today. It ain't gonna happen. Haitch also shipping in the 4 villages behind this. We see the 4 coureur de bois coming in, as well as Stagecoach. So both players definitely know what is up. And we see the pikes coming out. So SamWise really putting this build into play, knowing what he's doing here, getting those pikes out. This replay looks like it's running on pretty good speed. These pikes are running about where you'd expect them to. The 4 cruiser bars on the way in, and now we've got some bows coming in. So I guess this is SamWise appreciating that Haitch isn't going to be, you know, living the good life forever. He's probably going to be making Ashigaru at some point. This is exciting to see. He's going straight for the Explorer, which I think is the right decision, because if you don't go for this Explorer, you're going to be sieging this shrine, and this Explorer is just going to be taking pot shots at you. So Sam forcing the poof there and heading back. Curious whether we're going to see Sam come up and take this trade. He actually just opts to go straight for the trading post. You know that he's doing that because otherwise he would be sieging this down. He says, I don't want my opponent to have my trading post. And that's what he's done. Look at this. It's 6 minutes 40 and he's got 4 trading posts all sitting on wood. Oh my god. His economy right now is insane. 22 villages for SamWise as well. This is insanity. You could say it's insanity. No, it doesn't really work, does it? And Kerman and the brother Kerman are going to be taking down the Explorer for a second time, it looks like, but unfortunately it looks like Kerman's grave is down somewhere in here. Oh my god! Oh my god, it's the 3rd Kerman! Haitch pulls out the 3rd Kerman. No one expects the 3rd Kerman. They didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition. They never expected you to stand it where, anyway, let's move on. Let's move forward. The 3rd Kerman coming out there for Haitch, managing to get the 2nd Explorer up, but he's got an Explorer up on the north end side. 47 HP. I'm curious whether he's going to try and... I'd be trying to keep this alive. You're only at 160 shrine pop. You're probably going to be wanting to build 6 more shrines. But this is a very easy snipe coming in. Any attack moves? Almost. And now the pike's beginning to work this down. The Travail is coming around. Is he going to be able to take this pike? Is he going to be able to take out this trading post before the Travail gets to it? I don't think so. That's a lot of damage that he's going to have to put on there. I think that would be at least 3 volleys that he's going to need. Is he going to get that? It actually... Is that bugged? Why is the health not going down? Oh, I gotta like re-click it. Is he good? I think Haitch gets the 81 wood. Oh my god. So the trading post almost paying off there for Haitch. I would actually say the trade post definitely pays off just because you're preventing your opponent from putting it down as well. So it's a sad day when Kerman goes down, but we've actually got Haitch in a really good flanking position here from the back, managing to snipe out a single crossbow each time with each volley. He's got the perfect amount of Ashigaru to just hit this. Look at this. What is this Ashigaru doing? Getting mixed up with Kerman. You picked the wrong day to tangle with Kerman, my friend. And just a little bit of a reinforcing batch coming in here from SamWise. Just the casual 18 reinforcements. I'm assuming he's sent the 8 crossbows. He has indeed sent the 8 crossbows from the home city. We've got the pikemen moving up in cover mode so that they take less damage. For anybody who's unfamiliar, cover mode, the 2nd formation for the pikemen, reduces their attack, their siege damage by 50%, but it also reduces the ranged damage they receive by 50%. Very strong. And that's why it's been used in this situation. So now we see Haitch moving towards the middle of the map. Curious what he's going to be aiming for. Let's check on in him. Let's check on him. Let's check in on him. Probably better than checking in him. So Haitch is obviously... Look at this macro, my gosh. Absolutely on point. He's got a double batch coming out now of Ashigarus. And we don't see any age up that's in queue at the moment for Haitch. He is very comfortable playing the 2nd age. Let's have a look at his line of sight. We can see that we've got these shrines that are being sieged at the top. We've also got some crossbows that are being, I guess, coming across the map and paying attention. But Sam's trading post in the middle was getting sieged by Haitch. Haitch immediately appreciates that there's more crossbows on the way. He did scout that with his shrine. He did see them coming through. But obviously didn't realize that they're taking this route instead. And at the same time, we've still got the siege ongoing. Pikes are sieging down here. And the Ashigaru moving in. I'm curious whether these Ashigaru are going to be enough to one-shot a settler. I don't think they will. Let's have a look and see if they've got their great coats yet. They do not have their great coats yet, but they do have that 40% range resist. So that looks like 180 health. It's not really. It's much higher than that. Probably closer to about 320 health. But the Ashigaru being able to bundle up the Kurdabar in the home city. And let's have a look and see whether Sam's aging. He is indeed aging. He's aging, and he's got 5 TPs, all on coin. 28 villages, with market ups out the wazoo. Great coat coming in, as we expected. And now we've got a bit of a siege happening down in the south. Haitch also sieging at the bottom trade post, as well as in the middle with the Yumis. It looks like he's given up on that middle trading post, but now appears to be transitioning into Yumis. He's got the shrines coming down. He's got 15 shrines at the moment, but he's got them on wood, doing quite a bit of work right now. But the Ashigaru, I don't know exactly what these Ashigaru are doing. Are these the Ashigaru that were over here? I think they might be. And just really leading these pikemen on a bit of a charge, a little bit of a chase. Say good day to him, but we do actually see H is transitioning into Nagi. H built a stable. Are you allowed to build a stable as Japan? I know that you can't build them as Sweden, but as Japan, I didn't think you could build them as Japan either. I guess they must have changed that. So anyway, we're now moving forward. The Yumi archers are in a pretty good position, and let's take a look and see. We've got the Ashigara that are just dying to the north, but this fight is definitely, I would say that this is definitely favored more towards Haitch in this position. Despite that, we see the scores. Oh my god, take a look at the score difference that we've got. Okay, did Haitch just put an age up in queue? Why did his score just go up like a mile and then drop? Whoa, what's happening with Haitch's score? Is anybody watching Haitch's score? It's inflating like the Brazilian dollar right now. Was it Brazil that had that inflation problem? Maybe it's like the Ethiopian dollar. Anyway, it's there's a huge amount. Oh my gosh, and the Naganatas are coming in as well. Venezuela, thank you very much, chat, helping me out there. Venezuela definitely inflating, and we see that SamWise scores is doing the same thing. He's reached the 3rd age now. So we see the Cuirassiers coming out. The first batch of Cuirassiers, the 3 from the home city, undoubtedly is what we saw, picking up the Naganatas, and now entering into that fabled 3-unit composition that I'm just so unfamiliar with. We've got the skirmishers on the back line. We've got 9 skirmishers, so we've got the double racks coming out, pumping in those skirmishers. We've also got the 4 trading posts. It looks like H has gone to secure his own trading post in the south. Let's go see what he's up to. He's also shipping in the daimyo, so really committing to the 2nd age here. I don't think there's really a window for him here not to age. To age. I think this is a bit of a tough spot for H. And the reason why is because the majority of the trading line has been held by Sam for quite a while. So that gives him a significant advantage. And the reason why is because each of these represent 4 to 5 villages. So when you consider that he's got, you know, roughly 16, 17, 18 villages, I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but he's got about 16 villages coming from these trading posts compared to H's 4. And now, of course, we go and look at Sam's village account. He's on 31 villages, add another 25% to that, so really closer to about 40 villages. And now we compare that to H. H is up on 40 villages, but I guess he does have the shrines as well to remember. So definitely, with regard to resources generated, I'd say it's probably about even, but the tempo is definitely in the favor of the French player. And the reason why is because he's in H3. Now that he's in H3, we do indeed see those falconets coming in. So opting to send the 3 cuirassiers and then send the falconets after, I think is the right move. It's really important that you have a decent batch, a decent mass before you send those falconets in. You can send your falconets in when you've got 8 skirmishers, but if you get overrun by a handful of Nagis, well, then you're going to have some real trouble. And H's Explorer, I don't really know what the Explorer was going for there. An interesting strategy, but we see a cavalry charge. We see a cavalry charge coming out because I think H has realized that there's no pikemen and there's absolutely no dragoons that have come out yet. The Nagi directly on top. We've got the Ashigaru that look to be entering melee mode with the Cuirassiers. How many Cuirassiers have we got? We've got 7 Cuirassiers, so plenty of Cuirassiers, but the Nagi are coming around on top. But a fair amount of these Nagi have actually been taken out already by the Cuirassiers, and they've done their job. They've somewhat suicided themselves. We're down to 2 Cuirassiers, but the majority of the mass is still here for SamWise. And I think that means he's in a pretty good position, at least at the moment. But we do have those Falconets coming in. The Falconets unpack. Obviously, when Sam falls back onto these Falconets, H is going to realize straight away that he can't be taking this fight anymore. But I think it's important from this perspective. Sam definitely knows that that H has got the capacity to train a lot of cavalry. And I wouldn't be surprised if we go over to H, he's going to have at least 2 batches. No, never mind. Drongo doesn't know what he's talking about. I was going to say that we would expect... Okay, there's the first batch of Nagi, and I was expecting the daimyo to also be training it. I'm curious, do we see these cherry orchards go to the daimyo accidentally? Here we come, here they come, here they come. No. Look at that timing from H. The last cherry orchard goes down, and literally as the cherry orchards come in, the first round, bam. Just like that. His idle time is so low. He's got 17 vills right here, boom. Idle for like, what, less than 6-7 seconds, really. And Sam is just doing an amazing job of cleaning up these shrines. It's so frustrating playing against players that are good at this. Because we take a look at H's perspective. He's got no line of sight. He should have shrines here, shrines here, shrines here, shrines over there. Well, he's got shrines there, but he should have shrines here and shrines here. And he doesn't. And, oh, it feels so bad playing as Japan when that's happening. Sam definitely, I'd be saying at the moment, Sam is definitely holding out quite strong. This looks incredibly good for Sam, just simply because we don't have that Age 3 coming out yet still. Japan really opting to play for Age 2 fights here. So you love to see it. You really do. Yeah, a really nice combo coming out now. So we've got the 5 Dragoons. So no Dragoons yet being trained, but the batch of 23 at the back. The pikemen these pikes are doing so much bloody work. And it's so difficult to deal with because the problem for Haitch is, okay, let's say you go send 5 Ashigaru over there to deal with the pikes. Well, now you've got 6 less Ashigaru over here. And if he pushes in at the right time, so just like he's doing right now, I need all my Ashigaru here. I need to be able to defend, and I can't because your pikes are over here, and I gotta go kill them. I gotta go deal with them because if I don't, I'm gonna lose all my shrines. It's very frustrating to deal with, so absolutely amazing to see. And look at this. Haitch just doing work, doing the right thing. He needs to be all over this. He needs to have both of his explorers out, one on each side of the map, just doing it. And Haitch looks like he's going, called the Minutemen from the town center. Let's do this. Falconets on the back line. Look like they're going to get body blocked very well by the skirmishers. Protected nice. Haitch coming in on the bottom side with the Yamabushis. Is he going to be able to hit these Falconets? These Falconets still standing. We don't have the Nagis need to be running around the top, or at least the Daimyo needs to be running around the top, be getting these 2 Falconets. My voice is going at the moment through this fight, but we've got the massive Cuirassiers that still hasn't been dropped down. We've got 6 Cuirassiers. We've got the pikemen coming in that were previously down in the south. And now here on the side, we've got more reinforcing batches, but the majority of Haitch's army has been nuked by these Falconets. Look at the volleys on these. All right. G'day, fellas. Welcome to the 3rd and deciding game between SamWise and Haitch. Spawning in the north of the map is Haitch. Haitch, with his trusty Indians. He's been known to play the Indians incredibly well, winning the most recent ESOC Challenge Cup using the Indians in a number of games there. So it's great to see him finally pull them out here. I know that he's a big fan of the Indians, so we'll see what he can pull out today for us. His opponent, spawning in the south of the map, is SamWise, spawning in on the Spanish. You love to see it. No Germans. I was expecting it was probably going to be the Germans, but it's actually the Spanish. So you love to see this. He's got he's got an amazing treasure here underneath his trade post that spawned in as well. Looks like this explorer might be banging away a little bit too slowly. You guys thinking that's a little bit too slow? We'll try and work that one out. But we've also got a trading post going up as well for Haitch on the north side of the map. Picking that one up. Whoa. I've got to go in and fix the scroll speed. Let me fix up that scroll speed. And turn that one down to 0 as well. All right, there we go. Hopefully that should fix my scroll speed. Yeah, there we go. Oh, no, it didn't. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, that's all right. We'll stick to right click. So now we've got Sam opting to take out the treasure in the south of the map. We've got the 80 wood that's being taken out with the War Dog. Absolutely not a problem at all for Sam. Losing a lot of health on the Explorer, but opting to take speed over health. So his other option was to bring it out here and just shoot it and slowly whittle it down. But he's got the Spanish War Dog, and this enables him to take treasure a lot faster. He's now picked up the 80 wood, which is enabling him to build this house. He's really calculated it. Remember when I was talking about speed? Well, it seems speed is definitely of the essence here because Sam's just avoided going idle by getting up this house right on time. If he hadn't have done that down here, he would have 100% gone idle. So very, very well played by Sam. Now, let's move on to Hazza, his opponent, see where he's at. He's currently sitting at 10-10, but we do see distributivism coming in. It looks like there's no aggro, definitely no early aggro, at least at the moment. No 10-10 coming out. But Haitch going to be picking up a 50 food treasure here in the north of the map. And we witness Sam's Explorer heading towards the eastern side of the map. It looks like... Oh, I thought he had rallied over here to the trading post. I'm curious if he knows something that we don't about where the treasures spawn. But then turning around... Oh, his Explorer's actually... Or his War Dog has found this. But it looks like he's turned around and recommitted now back over to the way that he was coming from. So let's have a look at the decks. Alright, there's nothing too interesting about this deck. I would say it's quite standard. One of the things that we do see are the 3 Siege Elephants in Age 4. I like this card a lot. Also, the Food Silos in Age 1, other than another Age 4 card. The 10 Yurumi, as well as the 7 in Age 3. And Haitch picking up another treasure. This is the 65 coin, the Ginkgo leaves. And SamWise taking a look over on the north-hand side of the map. And just really, he's going to be quite sad because there's absolutely no treasures that are left on that side of the map. Haitch has been cleaning them up a little bit, I guess you'd say. Let's have a look at SamWise's deck. We've got ATP coming out for Sam. Now, this is just a standard card in the deck. So I'm curious whether we're actually going to see him send it. I suspect if he was going to send it, he would have sent it by now. Obviously, not the best map for ATP, especially considering your opponent's already got one of the trading posts, and there's 2 separate lines that need upgrading. So it's quite reasonable that we would expect him to avoid it. I suspect we're probably going to be seeing 700 coin, 700 wood, followed into an FF, and then whether we see Spanish gold come out or not is going to be another question. But on the north side of the map, going back to Haitch, having a look and seeing where he's at, he's got that villager that's just come out, but he's sitting on 53, 56 wood, so he's not going to be able to put that other one in queue just yet. But we do have this villager coming out, which is going to be putting down the Agra. You wouldn't be putting down a Kanimata out here. You would be putting down an Agra. And this villager... Never mind, there's a second villager. I don't know whether this was intentional or whether this was planned. I don't know what the difference is. It's probably about 10 seconds. But whether that was something that was intentionally done. The treasure now getting taken out by Haitch, the 80 coin. And this second villager is just coming out to chop. It's a long way to walk to chop. It's a long way to the tree if you want to chop him down. And moving back over to Sam, seeing what he's up to. He's aging up, obviously, with the governor. One of the most common Spanish age up options, I would suspect. And looking like he's preparing to put down that second trading post. His explorer is definitely moving towards that region. I expect we're going to see him put this trading post down and probably... yep, there we go. Just as I went to click over onto the wood gathering villages, he did actually move them over. So now they're going onto food. We've got a couple on coin. So I suspect that he's going to upgrade this trade route with the stagecoach. Probably with his 700 wood would be the best bet. And then that really puts the burden on Haitch and says, well, hey, I've upgraded the stagecoach. If you want to take these down, you're going to have to come and get them. Otherwise, I'm just going to enjoy the economic burden. No, economic prosperity that they provide me. Haitch dropping down this market. Not opting for the forward market like we saw Sam pulling out last game. The war dog, Tio Julio, chasing down another fat monk from Haitch. So Haitch notoriously has a fat monk and another fat monk. Interestingly enough, this is his first explorer. This is the second one. So really, this should be another fat monk. But that is another story. What we do see is Haitch is definitely macroing behind this for a more economic focus. He's got that. One of the other things I guess to note is that it's very common Indian players take a trading post in the first stage if they're going for a GFA or a good faith agreements fast fortress. But Haitch is just opting right now to take that trading post and still age up behind it relatively greedily, a really late age up, but we do have the fight ensuing here. We've got the War Dog as well as Axel, the Tame Tiger. Definitely not as big as Randy, but definitely, and obviously not as numerous as Kermond. Oh, look at this beautiful pull coming out right here. Amazing. You love to see it. Look how fast he runs, doesn't he? He really gets going, doesn't he? He knows those sepoy are coming. And behind this, we see the 700 wood followed by the 300 export. So really focusing on as big of an economy he can possibly get. So by doing this, this is going to enable him to put up that consulate and to get those 4 Ottoman villages, which we so commonly see from the Indian player. Obviously, Sam scouting in the middle of the map, the Agra fort going down. I think Haitch probably appreciating that he's not going to be able to stop Sam from getting up. It's 5 minutes 30, and Sam's just about to hit that button. Here it comes. 3. Look at the perfect macro here from Sam. Absolutely amazing. A real top-tier player. Boom. In the age up. The adventurer. I think that might be... I really don't know. It could be the crossbows. It might be the hussars. No, the hussars are the scout. So it's probably the crossbows. I don't think it would be the pikes. Something just tells me it's not going to be the pikes. But we will see. We will see. And now we've got movement down towards the south. Remember earlier I did say if SamWise wants to upgrade this trade route, he's really going to put the burden on Haitch and say, you've got to come and attack this. Well, Haitch is not mucking around. He's going straight for it. That 700 woods come down. Do we see the... We see the forward consulate coming in. Perhaps even opting not to go. When you see this forward consulate, I'm thinking he's probably going to be going musketeers. This to me signals musketeers. Probably going to go with the British... Sorry, going to go with the British consulate. And really try and hit a timing here against SamWise. It's going to be an interesting timing. This is I guess India have got a very strong unit in H2, and that is the sepoy. The sepoy is incredibly tough to deal with. Even if you've got falconets, it can somewhat overrun them as long as you've got sour. They're very, very tanky, having 180 hit points. And we do indeed see the British allies coming through for Haitch. On the other side of the map, we've got musketeers now being trained, and Rodoleros being shipped from the home city. Now, I do suspect you will cancel these Rodoleros because there's not really a lot of incentive to send them. In my opinion, What else can he really lose? Like, okay, sure, he can lose this, but his 7 Rodolero is going to be enough to stop this from going down? Maybe if they've got the Explorer as well. If they position towards the north side. But I suspect Haitch probably isn't going to be going all the way to the north side. Sam now picking up the Zoe Empress treasure, the cookbook. And Haitch moving into position. Looks like he's going to be able to idle at least a couple of villages and almost he picks one off. Holy moly, I didn't expect that to happen just then. The 5 Musketeers out. The 7 Rodoleros definitely well timed. Going to be timed with a Minutemen call. And it's going to be timed with the Adventurer. Oh my god, this is going to be an amazing pop. 1, 2. Where's the third? Where's the third? There's the third. The crossbow's coming out as well. You've just got an army coming out from downtown. I did not expect that. Wow. That was a lot of units really, really quickly. The Rodolero is absolutely doing work. Sam obviously ahead of the game when it comes to unit shipments because he just knew what he was doing. He knew the timing that was coming and he prepared for it incredibly well. But still, we see Haitch overwhelmingly has massive numbers. He's got 17 Musketeer type units here. He's got a reinforcing batch of 5. He's got 4 SOAs on the way. This isn't over. This isn't over by any means. And just because you thought that there was an amazing timing pop that was coming out right there, it means nothing because we've got Minutemen here. The 2 Falconets finally coming down. We've got more Musketeers being trained in queue. I think that's the right call. Fortunately for Sam, he's not being idled. If this was being fought under his town center right here, this would be terrible for Sam because it would mean that his Musketeers would not be getting produced. He would have no resources. He would have nothing that he could really do with that. But fortunately for him, he's keeping it out the front of his base. So I don't know whether that's... I'd say that's almost a very fortunate thing for him, but also shipping the Rodoleros in behind here. A couple of other options he's got. Well, only really one option he's got. That's Lancers. So no pikes in the deck. No other unit shipments. And now the Falconets sitting down behind. The Falconets going to be in a... I feel like there's not enough mass here. I feel like these Falconets are going to be very easily overrun by the SOAs. 1, 2, 3, 4 SOAs on the back line of the Falconets. And oh, the volley goes off. 4 units going down there for Haitch. And they're just going to... Oh my god. Huge volley just taking out the Falconets. And I would say that Haitch is in a very dominating position at this point, despite the score lead. Okay, the scores have now sort of been evened up, but Haitch is looking very good here. This is the consequence of sending Falconets too early and somewhat being a bit aggressive with them. Had you kept your Falconets down here, they would have been in a much safer spot, much easier to block. Your Rodoleros probably would have been on time as well. But as a result, you've just lost your most important shipment in the game. The 2 Falconets are the most pivotal unit shipment there are. And it's frustrating to have them go down to 4 SOAs like that. I would say that, oh, we've got a couple of villages out here as well. Looks like they're going to be getting picked up. Where's the Spanish Explorer? Spanish Explorer is dead at the moment, 35 HP. The Rodoleros are going to try and distract the SOAs or try and force them off, say, get back, that's our settler. And they're actually managing to do that, having to chase them away. And Haitch committing there, and at the same time with SamWise committing, it means he loses a couple of Rodoleros. So a couple rods going down as a result, but able to get away with 7 from that shipment. I think the shipment that he got was 9 Rodoleros. So taking a look back at Haitch's side, he's got 32 villagers. He's shipped in both of his wood trickles. He's still probably on the British consulate. He is indeed. So he's not going to be shipping those villagers from the Ottomans. I suspect he's probably never going to change to the Ottomans. Once you ally with the British, you probably just want to stay with the British. It's a decision that you make. It's a lifestyle, really. Either you're British or you're Ottomans, but you're never both, especially in one game. So, a little bit of a lull period now that we're entering. The barracks is going up from Haitch. Is this a sign that he's going to be aging up? Probably not. Maybe he just wants to make more units. It definitely looks like he's not really macroing to go up. He's got a lot of vills on wood, which would to me indicate that he wants to continue dropping houses like he's doing. Typically, you wouldn't need this many villagers on wood where if you're just going to be aging up, you'd want to be prioritizing it a little bit differently, but just those villagers really indicate that he wants to be fighting. We do see Lancers coming in from SamWise as well, shipping 5 Lancers and beginning to train skirmishers. I'm just going to take a quick sip of my drink, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's painful. There's not enough in there. We need more juice. We need more juice. And the Lancers are in a great spot. Looking good. Handsome little fellas. But we're definitely entering a lull period here. I would say this is probably the point of the series, maybe even the point of the day, where there's the least amount of action going on. Both players just hanging out, having a good time. So I guess we throw this over to chat. How you guys doing? How you fellas doing? You sitting back all right? Haitch is really building up a massive sepoys though. Look at this 700 coin finally coming in. Are we going to be able to expect with this that we're going to be seeing an age up? I suspect that we probably will, and probably pivoting more towards the mid game. The other options are that he could be throwing down a stable somewhere. Let's see if we can spot that. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. What do we got here? This is a Haitch that is determined to stay in the third age. We see the next Musketeer batch coming out as well. And I guess this is a bit of an issue because when you commit to a stable like this, and you've got 700 coin that's coming in, which has already come in. Yo, Haitch, the houses won't collect it. The sour just going in to try and pick up the fat monks, but then the fat monk just immediately going to get murdered. Is he going to get out? Why did he do that? I wish I knew why Haitch did that. I'd love to know inside the mind of Haitch. Explain what you were thinking there and whether you thought that the fat monk was going to be able to escape from the Chad Alpha Rodoleros. Because I knew it was never going to happen. Not these guys. Scores are looking relatively even. Haitch a little bit ahead at the moment, but it's to be expected with this big aggro fort. Obviously going to be 800 food going to his score. I don't know whether that gets tallied in addition to typical Spanish players and their score. But we've got the first batch of Soas out. I would suspect that there's probably going to be a second batch. But look at the batch of sepoys that we've got out. 38 villagers behind this. Haitch's macro is immaculate. Still collecting from that 700 coin that has arrived. Are we going to see that second batch of Soas? God, this is a huge batch of musketeers and sepoys. Obviously, don't disclude those. So we've got 45 and 7, so 52 right now. And the second batch of Soas is being made. And oh, Sam, don't push out. Please don't push out. This is menacing. This doesn't look good for Sam. Honestly, if I'm in this position and I'm like comparing, I'm like, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. I'm not happy with this. I'm like, I feel so insecure. I feel so insignificant. And I think that's definitely reflected in the score. Even though we do see SamWise beginning to climb, obviously taking this second trading post. Haitch hasn't taken this second trading post down to the south. Neither of them have upgraded to the stagecoach. But now we do see a couple of units heading up to the north, going to be sieging this trade post down. And the skirmishes in the middle of the map, looked like a little bit of lag going on right there, but they're posturing. They're looking. Now, Sam does indeed know that the aggro fort is right there. He doesn't take any shots from it. Very careful. But we do see Sam is finally getting that stagecoach right as Haitch begins sieging the trade post. But the Sour's going out to collect. It was a bait. It was a bait. That was a bait. Oh, and now we see Sam. Sam, don't get caught. Sam, watch out, Sam. Okay, Sam being very careful here. But it was a bait. Oh my, that is a lot of Sours. Oh no. Oh no. No, no, no. Sam. Okay, Sam is actually out of position quite badly here. Send your explorer back and just... I would just be snaring these guys. You're probably not going to get it. No, 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 no. Okay. So now the Rodoleros are going in to meet the Sours. The Sours are managing to make it around, but the mass for Haitch is just absolutely huge at this point. We've got Lancers that are fighting against a single Sour. Not where they want to be. They need to be on the back lines, fighting against the Musketeers. Sam still with skirmishers in queue, shipping 4 Lancers from the home city, but this mass is overwhelming, coming in on top of Haitch's, well, coming on top of Sam's villagers and just cleaning up the first villager. The second villager's about to go down. The third one gets chopped in with an axe. The fourth one goes down. We've got the Lancers behind, but the mass from Haitch is just absolutely overwhelming at this point. Even though there's skirmishers, we've got 20 skirmishers here. These aren't particularly strong skirmishers. They're not upgraded or anything like that. And on top of that, we've got Sours coming in. Do we have any reinforcing batches yet of Sours? How far away are those Sours? Let's see if we can spot them. There's none in the queue at the moment. So it's not like he can't defend this, but the main issue that he's going to have is there's just so many fucking muskets. Holy moly, sorry for my language, but look at that. 28 muskets, 5 British ones, 7 more, 2 more Sours coming in. We must have missed this somehow. The Lancers do pop, but I don't think 4 Lancers is going to be enough to deal with all of these 29 sepoy right here. At the same time, we've got more skirmishers that are popped at the front barracks. They're fighting off against the sepoys, not what you want to be doing. You want to be making them part of the army. And now... Sam making a bit of a mistake not walling in the Indian Explorer, so he's able to get on top of the skirmishers, having to really focus his fire. And now it's getting to the point, but I think Sam is actually looking like he's going to be able to stabilize here. He's managed to take out all of the infantry all of the cavalry from Haitch. But he's walking right on top. Look at how well he's microing. Haitch is doing an immaculate job right here, but just getting on top. The question is, how does Sam respond to this? So if we go and take a look, we can see Sam shipping 1,000 food, but I just don't feel like 1,000 food is going to be enough to deal with the sepoy that are in your base killing your dudes. And on top of that, you guys see what's coming in from the top of the screen. I think this is good game. This is indeed good game.